2, 1, 2. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here obviously for the WWRL Championship round 3 at Baku in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But we're just here to make a small announcement before we go straight onto the racing. At 11 AM this morning of today, we had the sudden news of His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip of Mountbatten, unfortunately passed away. His loss was shocked the whole world. Obviously, the man unfortunately was of the age of 99 and had many medical scares over the past year or so, coming in and out of hospital all the time. But it's still a huge sadden and shock moment to discover his death. He has dedicated his life to public service in the name of Her Royal Highness Her Majesty Elizabeth II, as well as becoming, well, an icon, as it were, for both the military forces as well as here in the UK and abroad. At the start of this race, we will be having a minute of qualifying taken away in honour of His Royal Highness, and to sound a minute's silence before the race begins. Thank you guys, and enjoy the race, and here we go. Welcome, it is the WWRL Championship for the Baku Grand Prix here in Azerbaijan. Once again, we are looking for an absolute epic race from this a magnificent street circuit, probably one of the best in the calendar of the Formula One season. Once again, I am joined by my absolutely astonishing friend, very good looks, my Dutch friend is Matthew. Matt, welcome, thank you very much for joining me.
I'll take that compliment about having good looks all day long. So returning to one of the sites of the craziest race we probably had last season, where there were 4 safety cars in Tier 1. I am hearing there were 6 in Tier 2 just a few moments ago. So its reputation is being lived up to. We did speak last season about the scepticism Baku was greeted with, the very slow first race, and then its rise to prominence from 2017 onwards. So there's no point me going back through the history of this track. You can go back and watch last season's race, and if you've not watched this before, I suggest you do, because there was changing weather conditions and there was a dominant drive by Sharky, and he just made the wrong call with 2 laps to go to stay out, and he dropped all the way down to last. It was a crazy race. So I thought this week, how can I begin to start talking about this today? And I thought maybe I'll mention a few facts about Azerbaijan. The nation's favourite dish is kutabi, which is basically a filled pancake, and it enjoys a cup of tea. So Azerbaijan has quite a lot in common with us here at the UK, but instead of putting sugar in their tea, they sweeten it with jams. And also, archaeological studies in the Azot cave have found ruins dating back 1.5 million years to very early man. So maybe, if some of these drivers dated their family history back enough, this could be a home race for them. You never know. There is also a very unique city on stilts in Azerbaijan called Neft Dazlari, which started life as an oil rig with elevated walkways connecting it. That's now full of bakeries, hotels, shops. It's truly a beautiful sight, so Google that after this. It's actually stunning. It's on the Caspian Sea, and it's a city on the sea. Unfortunately, tensions between Azerbaijan and Armenia, particularly over the Nagorno-Karabakh region, escalated in late 20. It was a bit of a silent war brewing since about the 60s, so it finally came into life, unfortunately, last year. The region in question is internationally recognised as Azerbaijan, but has mostly Armenian citizens. It's resisted rule for about a century with the support of Armenia. The conflict is very complex. But I can point you to 2 songs by a Armenian band called System of a Down called Protect the Land and Genocidal Humanoids. If you go and listen to that, it will explain the backstory behind it. I think it's very important that we recognise that we do go to some countries that have very dodgy reputations in F1, and Azerbaijan is something very dodgy is going on that's worth looking into. But we won't worry about now. It's a high-speed sprint circuit. Punishment for going a foot off the track limits here, as you can see by the walls. And as we found out to the dismay of Sharky last year, this is sim racing and it's anyone's game.
That is Facts with Matt, and of course, once again, given his most famous catchphrase, anything can happen in sim races. As we said at the start of this broadcasting, we had a minute taken off qualifying in respect to His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip Mountbatten, obviously passing away then this morning at 11 AM, which was confirmed by British media. Matt, obviously this is Baku, so I mean it's a very fast, obviously street circuit. It's probably one of the most, how can I put it? Like you said, it can punish you.
Yeah.
But let's face it. It's one of those tracks where it is just so fun to drive around. What separates this from all the other street circuits? We can never make it.
We can't figure out because it is. If you look at it, mostly 90-degree turns, which aren't derivative with good racing, no matter what era of F1 you're at. If you look at a failed street circuit, one that I was looking at this week, which was the Las Vegas Grand Prix, which was hosted in the car park of Caesar's Palace. It was just a bunch of 90-degree turns, and it was truly terrible. I'm sure you can find some scratch-ups of it. So 90-degree corners, it's not anything to do with the dirty air, it's just never been good for racing. However, what I think is different is, as we've just seen this Renault go around here, you don't use your brakes for about 30 seconds, so any dirty air that's built up, you can easily gain a second and a half on someone just on this straight line with slipstream, ERS and DRS. So it does make overtaking a very distinct possibility, and can be a disadvantage to be the car in front.
I mean, we had a bit of a battle going on between, I believe it is the AlphaTauri of, let's have a look. I believe it's Wasabi, followed by XD Verstappen. I think them two had a bit of a battle.
I think someone's in the wall.
I believe so. I'm trying to figure out who it may have been. I believe it may have been, I think Stevie Osh, I believe, I'm not entirely sure. We'll come back to that in probably a slight moment, trying to figure out what's going on. You've got this, a new chap here called ERT Noah.
Okay.
But we will apologise, by the way, to the other viewers if you were looking forward to watching the Tier 2 race. Unfortunately, it was not streamed, but I'll give you through the basic. Unfortunately, a lot happened in that race. But first of all, I'm going to say a simple fact to you. The Tier 2 race had 6 safety cars. 6 safety cars, absolutely ridiculous. And also, the winner of that race was obviously TSM Daniel for the McLaren. Seriously, Matt, if you watched it, it was just unbelievable. You could not fathom what you were watching. It was, I think, out of 26 laps that was for the Grand Prix here in Azerbaijan, but it's 50% of the race. I'm pretty much sure about 9 to 11 laps were completed in terms of pure racing.
There's a story about the European Formula 3 weekend at I want to say Spa actually. No, it must have been Monza. And this had a couple of years ago. It had the likes of George Russell, Norris, Stroll, a whole bunch of people like Ocon were there as well, Mazepin. And what happened in this over the course of 3 races over the weekend was complete mayhem like this, to the point where the FIA stewards stopped the race because the kids were embarrassing themselves on live TV. They just stopped the race and just said, "Come on,
I mean,
you can't stop hitting each other."
I don't understand how a race could be that bad. The fact that you have to stop the race just to have a bit of dignity.
Yeah,
I think
it was. You can find a YouTube video from a gentleman called Josh Rebel, who's an Australian. He's slightly grown. I think he's got 100,000 subscribers now. And if you watch his video, the Friday practice, there was a young driver in the Campos car, I believe it was bright orange, got hit going around Parabolica and pretty much leaped and took off over the fence, which was crazy. Lance Stroll almost died in it. He ended up breaking his neck or something. It got to the point where there were just so many clumsy drivers, so many silly things happening. The FIA just said on the last race on the Sunday, "We've had enough now, you boys." They gave them an opportunity to take care and just get out there, even if that meant just running in order. And the FIA just said, "We've given you every chance, and we've not got any laps of racing in. There's too many safety cars. The fans are getting angry. The spectators are getting angry. This is live on Sky Sports. F3 was only newly being broadcast at that point anyway. We need to stop it."
Yes, we did. Definitely. In terms of stopping it, I think we need to stop with the facts, and I think we need to crack on with the qualifying. I mean, we're about 6 minutes into it. We, at the moment, as we are coming up to the 10-minute mark, we have got our first, obviously, couple of laps going on at the moment. First one, of course, is the BWT Racing Points of Tim 1404. Unfortunately, didn't have a great race last week, but he still ended up producing a bit of a result.
Okay, yes. Now, Azerbaijan is a big compromise, and I don't know if we know what the race conditions are going to be yet, but you've got to find a nice even balance between straight line speed and then the tricky and twisty middle sector where you actually need quite a lot of grip coming out of corners. It's a real limited circuit. Strange, but no, it's a lot to do with talent as well. But the thing is, you can get too confident in the wet. I think the best way to treat any wet race is just to be completely on edge the whole time, feeling it, in control of the throttle, light on the brakes. Just everything's got to be so much more accurate, because especially on a track where if you get one snap of oversteer, you're in the wall and you're out.
Wow. Well, that's the thing. Obviously, like I said, Baku is one of those one of these races where it's punishable, but it's still awfully not fun to have. Anyway, 137.568 still is the fastest lap at the moment, as a lot of people are now on their out lap. Now, where's Basabi at the moment? Basabi is on 13th at the moment. Now,
try and ride on board. He's on an out lap.
He is on an out lap. We'll stay on with Basabi. Basabi is a very, very promising driver, as we saw last season. So he'll be looking to put his name on, hopefully, the trophy this year, if he has anything to say about it.
And he didn't have a great qualifying last week, but he still managed to nail a strategy in a race where he didn't play the weather conditions, he played the safety car. So I think he started on hards, which gave him a short-term loss at the start, let him go long, and then there was a perfect little safety car which kind of netted him a P6 from where he started, which was, I believe, P16. So he made something work last week after a bad qualifying, but I think he'll be trying to start as high up as possible so he doesn't have to do all that overtaking.
Well, last season, obviously in Monaco, obviously he did say that he does like a good street circuit.
Yeah.
He did fantastically in Monaco, and even better in Singapore. I mean, this is no street circuit. It's only one of 3 street circuits on the calendar, obviously,
Yeah.
if you want to call Russia. So, would you be saying that he could probably pull something off today?
He could do. I'm not sure if that's going to get disallowed there.
Yeah, more than likely
would have got a nice amount of air, but he's still pushing now.
Very much pushing.
Yeah, so maybe that's a line that the drivers have found. There are some areas where you can exploit the track limits a little bit further that the game sometimes doesn't pick up on. Now, street circuits, there's a lot. I think he's coming into the pits.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. I think he may.
Or not.
No, I think he was using the sit thing.
Shortest run to the line, maybe. That's put him second, you know.
That's absolutely incredible. That's
Very
a
nice.
1:37.973 from the Dutchman.
That's still a long way off that Tim 1404 lap. That's a cracker, actually.
That's an absolute quality lap.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. People still to go for is Jacques 28, also with Pim RB. Both in the, I believe, the Red Bull and the Ferrari.
Now, if we can ride on board with Muck Vaylor,
I believe, yes.
In the Renault, it's just on an outlap now, and he's trying some mediums. So this is someone maybe trying a bit of a tactic here. Again, as I mentioned, with rear limited circuits, which most street circuits are, because it's not a race surface. These are just public roads, so they're not designed. That a lot of the time, as in real life, as the weekend goes on, the circuit breaks up a little. Like the concrete starts to split apart because they're not used to having those kinds of speeds left on them. So what you could be doing here is saying, right, I'm going to try and get into the top 10 on mediums. I'm not aiming for pole. I'm aiming for between 5th and 10th, but the theory is anyone above me is using softer and a worse race tyre. The medium is the best race tyre. So this could be a little bit of tactics at play here on the street circuit.
Can we get your famous Matthew track rundown on it?
Of course, yeah.
Lovely, we're looking forward to this.
Absolutely. So the first corner is a 90 degree, you open it up, 2 wheels off, and you can run 2 wheels across here just like that. You want to do the same here, 4 gears down. There was a bit of a lock up there, so he's kind of carried a little bit of understeer through the apex, but it gets on the power just fine. Now keep everything as straight as possible, minimise swerving, and come all the way out to the right, run on the curve and attack the curve there. I think there was another lock up there as well, I'm not too sure. This is a surprisingly difficult corner, full of understeer, that one. He's not now going to be helped by being unsighted by someone in the way who gets out of the way. More locking up going on here. This is a tricky section. I found myself in that one quite a few times when I've done laps. Here you can run 2 tyres off the track, really commit to that apex and get a nice rotation. Then through Castle Hill, you want to attack the first curve. It's left, right, and then swing yourself back, and you can again make a nice cut of this corner. This is all flat out now, but you would have found in the last race in the wet, you have to do a little bit of lifting. But in these conditions, commit, attack the curbs, and well, as we saw there, big understeer corner. Again, you can find yourself in the wall easy. The final corner of the lap that you need to brake for anyway. You can run a little. I think that will be disallowed, but you can run a little wide there. Then you've got a high-speed chicane, which accuracy pays dividends there. And then it's just the long run down to the straight. You pick the shortest line possible, which these guys think is hugging this pit wall. But he's going to come in at quite a pace, and he's lucky not to be out of qualifying there.
Well, let's face it, I think if this was actual normal racing and this was in real life, I'm pretty sure that he would have more likely have ended up in the hospital. Now, obviously, with this track is absolutely, like we said, it's absolutely awesome fun, and also it catches racing drivers out, especially through sector 2, obviously, which is the most difficult when you lose time and you're trying to gain what you can from that. Obviously, the most famous, obviously, for Castle section is unfortunately Charles Leclerc.
The I am stupid.
The I am stupid. I mean, when it comes to casual section, I mean, you have to be very brave to go through that at a decent pace and then try and keep going.
The trick is to attack the first left-hander. Now, what happened on 2 occasions in that qualifying, once with Robert Kubica in the Williams, but more famously with Charles Leclerc, is that they attacked but didn't really attack enough, and I believe Charles did just the slightest bit of front left locking on the unloaded tyre, which kind of meant he went in at an angle and he just could not turn. You brake in a straight line, you turn in, but you really attack that first curve and you carry the momentum all the way up the hill. Because it goes uphill, like we discussed yesterday in Spain, when you go uphill and the track falls away from you, it's difficult with traction all the time, no matter what track. Now, Eau Rouge and Gradion's a bit different because you're at full power by the time you get there and the grip's at the highest feasible point. This is a low grip section of the circuit.
Right, well, by the looks of things, we are a minute away from the end of qualifying as it stands. Now, we'll be looking at pretty much everyone. Remember, at the moment, I believe, let's have a look who is the closest to the... let's have a look. The closest to actually starting up, I believe it's Tun in the McLaren, as he will start his flying lap as we are to the late stages of the qualifying. I believe ERT Noah has absolutely, well, I'm pretty sure he's happy with his lap, so he's retired from the race. As we are now on board with Tun as he comes around the second corner going into the next DRS straight.
Now, Tun's actually very consistent, and he obviously got outshone by the world champion Borish on the same car, but actually when he came in, he's often there or thereabouts as well. So someone that's definitely worth watching. He's picked up a lot of understeer through that first sector, and I wonder whether he's gone for a setup that prioritises frontline speed, which is going to make this sector extremely tricky. But everyone's different. With setup, I as a driver, I like everything on the nose of the car. If you look at the way Max Verstappen drives, everything's on the nose, which is why other drivers seem to struggle when they go into that car, because it's designed to be really high up on the front. Now, that gives you a lot of benefits out of medium speed corners, but it's probably not the best for traction, whereas low rate cars in the past, at least, like a Mercedes, with a nice even balance, mean they're very good off the corners. Now, rule changes this year have kind of benefited Red Bull a little more, whether they still go on to win. So, I think we're seeing a lot of different setups here, and those that are maximising their speed through Sector 2 are going to have to be really careful.
Desi in the hat has made a dart for 5th place, I remember. Will he stay there?
Tim's on a lap, shall we?
Tun is actually has done his. Now, who is next?
Let's go to Tim, because he was on a lap and he is on provisional pole.
He is, I believe, yes he is.
He's just coming round the chicane now. I can't see on his steering wheel if he's up on his delta, but he is pushing. And this could be pole here.
This could be pole. Basabi at the moment still on his outlap, on his racing lap.
Oh wow!
He's gone a 1:37.181. He's actually increased by, I believe, 4 tenths.
Where's he found that?
I have no clue.
That is already a mile ahead.
Incredible.
Let's have a look at Basabi.
Basabi, he's coming up towards the finish line. What can he produce?
Can he
1:37.9. Can he do anything?
No,
he can't. He can only just about literally take a few milliseconds off. Who is next? I believe Stocko Saints. He's going rather slow.
Yeah, I would say he's out of qualifying now.
Probably out of qualifying.
Mavela goes 9th, but they are on the soft tyres, so his little gamble with the medium not paying off there, but that's it was worth the punt.
The only person that obviously hadn't produced a time who has now is Pim RB. He does a 1:38, which puts him 12th. One person at the moment hasn't definitely put a time in, and he actually hasn't gone out in any way, shape or form, is Jacques 28 in the, I believe, the Red Bull. I can only imagine why that reason is, unless he maybe have a qualifying penalty.
Whoa, someone's just been hit up the butt.
Yeah, I believe that was the Renault, but I don't know who that was.
That looked like he got hit.
He got hit from behind, but obviously the AI takes in control.
That was weird.
That was very weird.
Well,
I believe that may have been Desi. Or Britain Boy, it was one of the houses.
Yeah, look!
There's
There's
Desi.
a pilot going on at the end of quali here. The AI has completely botched it.
Yeah, definitely, because you've got Desi turn literally pretty much on the pitch straight. I mean, Desi's car.
Oh
is,
my word! What is
my
going on
word.
here?
Nutella Allen is now just ploughed into it.
We've
We got a bit of a
Got a bit of a car park.
got a bit of a car park going on here at the moment. Oh, Tim, 144. Careful.
Wanna get
Careful.
involved,
So at the moment we've got the pilot up on the pitch straight, literally at the toward actually just gone past the pit entry. Turn, Marty FIFA, Desi, and I believe Bryn Boy.
What's the Azerbaijani version of Tesco? Because they've stopped to get some shopping.
Well, that was something hilarious. By the looks of things, ERT and Noah gets a 5-second penalty.
Really?
He does. So I believe I'm wondering what that will put to the.
And there's Pimar B as well. I
So
wonder
he
if
gets
they were involved in an incident.
5-second grid grid penalty. So that would put Noah pretty
They're
much
all the way at the bottom.
That puts him pretty much all the way at the bottom. So it's Pimar.
Oh, it's 5 positions, not 5 seconds.
Oh, 5 positions.
Right,
Okay. So
okay.
in that case, Prim would be going down to 17th, bringing everyone up, and that puts Marty FIFA on the second row, just behind
His
Basami.
teammate. If this was real life, the team bosses there would be thinking, oh, we can mix strategies up and nick a win here. Now, obviously, every man's in it for himself in this, but we have actually seen the AlphaTauri guys do a bit of team play. And in the past, if you think
I
Monaco,
do remember there was that point where I believe team orders came in,
yeah,
and I think they didn't speak to each other. I think they just
didn't.
knew.
It was just
They just knew that I needed to get out of the way, and obviously he did, and they did.
And
so.
Basabi, one more lap probably would have won.
He would have done.
So it's we've seen it happen before, but that's a much better qualifying for Basabi there, and he's going to be very happy with that. Because again, last week really compromised on his quali, and he had to do it all in the race. Now, that's a very honourable way of winning a championship, having to go out there wheel to wheel. But you don't want to keep doing that to yourself, because it's going to go wrong at some point. Someone's going to hit you, or you're going to get into a collision with someone, or spun around. It's sim racing. It's that kind of feel to it. So he'll be much happier with that qualifying.
Definitely, as we look, I think they've all done their strategies. There is a pit strategy right there. By looks of things, everyone more likely to come in between either laps 5 and 7.
Now, I would probably look toward a 2-stop here, weather permitting, because it's a track where you can overtake. I think a 1-stop by the end of the race, you're going to be pretty vulnerable. So I would say skid them off as early as possible, because you're only going to get probably 5 to 6 laps again out of the quali tyre. Bear in mind you've just done one full pelt lap, then your warm-up lap as well, so you've already added a bit of wear to them. Then two middle-ish stints on the medium, I think, would be a nice way to go. But you never know. With strategy, I just don't see the 1-stop benefiting, and I'm no doubt going to be proven wrong now I've said that.
Well, I believe it's been done before.
Yeah.
But it's not ideal.
No. And it depends as well, because, again, if you've got it set up so your car's really kind on your tyres, then you could do a 1-stop, but I don't think you'll be particularly fast. To make sure, on a street circuit, these are street roads, people. It's not like before every few years a track like Belgium will be able to pay millions of pounds for a specific race surface that doesn't break up, which gives you beautiful grip no matter what the conditions, has beautiful draining, so if it rains, you give your racers the best possibility of a good race. Now, Spa, all these professional racetracks like Silverstone, every few years will be resurfaced. We had it in Turkey this year, but because of the new surface and the rain, it made it very slippery. This is just your public roads. This is the A1 in the UK, which is one of our main roads. So that's why these tyres are they're going to wear.
Speaking of tyres, I believe that Tim 1404 is that going to be stuck there for a while, because look at the back markers. I mean, they're Hardly that. They haven't even come up to the
last break. They're just past the last breaking point now. I mean, they'll catch up pretty quick, but he's a mile away from second place as well. So he's just got on with it. Fair enough, you know, if he's done a good job with the warming, braking. I know I'm going to sound like an amateur, but I found a new trick where if you move your brake bias all the way towards the back, it really takes care of the rear tyres, so you don't have to keep doing burnouts and ruining your tyre wear.
Yeah.
So
by looks of things, they're coming up right now. Obviously, in the driver championship, you've got Basabi followed by Tun, followed by Stocko Saints. Now we are underway here at the moment. It's here in Baku for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. It's lights out. Remember, there's a pause. Away we go as Basabi and Tim 144 come up to the
Basabi's got a brilliant start.
They do touch, but by the things everyone gets away quite well. Yes, they do.
That was a big touch there up front, but Tim, he's gone into the wall.
Tim's gone into the wall. He's damaged his front wing.
He's going to be slow in the middle sector.
He's going to be slow in the middle sector with Basabi now coming up on him on the inside. No, he takes a peek, but goes. Takes his time now. He knows that the chap is inside in front of him has wing damage. He saw the debris coming off, so he's going to be looking to try and see what he can produce. He's going to be extra close now.
I tell you, Tim at that start absolutely stood his ground against Basabi, who had a cracking start, and he had the inside line. He could have taken the corner, and he did, but Tim didn't budge 1 centimetre. Unfortunately, he's got his braking point wrong into turn 2. He's going to be so slow throughout this middle sector. As you can see, the whole pack is just bunched up.
I will say this though, could this be the race? I mean, I'm going to be jinxing it now. Could this be the first race where all drivers come out, nice and safely in the first lap? Could I be speaking a bit too soon, man?
Well, we've had a bit of damage, but we haven't had any DNFs yet, and there's not been many yellow flags, so these guys really... the camera angle sold me one there for Tim. This has been really clean for sim racing. I'm quite happy. So let's see, is Tim going to come in? He's actually pulled a bit of a gap, you know.
He has pulled a bit of a gap, but I believe Basabi will be coming at him. Yes, that time is coming down. So, we'll see, he's going to be staying out. Yes, he is going to be staying out. That's obviously not bothering him at all, that wing damage. We do have one person coming into the pit, I believe it is Vela.
Okay, maybe he had a bit of contact on the first. I can't actually see much of the wing there, you know.
I can't see much.
I think they do have a wing ready at the Renault garage.
Yeah, I believe both end plates have gone, unfortunately. And by the looks of things, Williams is also in.
Even on a game, Williams don't get much luck.
No, definitely not.
But
anyway,
we continue. So, Tim staying out and actually pulling an 8/10 of a second gap with wing damage, which is incredibly impressive because in this section, from this corner onwards, it's going to be horrible. The aerodynamics is going to be all over the place. He's nearly broke DRS.
Unless he's actually probably, because you did teach me this track back when we first introduced ourselves into this game, where if you turn down the brake bias, it does help the sort of the grip with the car.
Yeah.
Would that be the death tank?
He could have turned, for example, the differential and the brake bias just all the way forwards and just really grip him up. Now, the front tyres are going to take a pounding, but if it helps him stay out, it's taking such an aggressive line. I just can't help but feel like if you risk... I mean, he found a lot of time there. I don't know whether that was a corner cut or not, but that was a very aggressive line, and Basabi's teammates right behind him, he's going to be wanting to come through if he can't get on with it.
Well, it's not this lap, but as soon as Tim 144 goes across that line, DRS will be enabled. Now remember, this is probably one of the fastest track circuits on the calendar. Obviously not as quick as obviously Monza, but it still produces a lot of speed.
Did Marty just try and move? It's not quite. Well, I think he's defending from turn.
He is defending from turn. Them two are going to abreast by looks things, but Marty Beaver gets the job done in turn 2.
He'll do well to hang on around the outside there. Let's see. We've got 2 cars. 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 We Probably ends in tears, doesn't it?
Probably ends in tears, but let's face it, if you could go around there 2 times, I'm pretty sure we'd see a lot more overtaking on this track, I'll tell you that now.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, overtaking wise, it is pretty much turn 1 and the DRS straight, but you do see some obscure moves here.
You do, especially going into this one right here, just before turn 7, I believe, going towards Castle Hill section. You do tend to see that literally someone getting probably a little bit of exit, a bit more traction, and actually making a dart for the
slap on the overtake button.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Let's have a look. Everyone's still coming very cleanly. I'm in uncharted territory. I don't tend to see this from this league a lot. It's
very clean,
very clean. I'm not. I've been sure here.
I don't know, but what amazes me is I'm pretty sure we've got yellow flags. We've jinxed it. Someone's gone off in Castle Hill. It's a Red Bull, and it's a safety car.
It's a safety car. I had to open my mouth, didn't I? It's safety car. It is Jacques 28 in the Red Bull. Now remember, unfortunately, even though he is still going, it will be a safety car because unfortunately, there's not a lot of areas where you can actually be able to have a chance to go and collect the debris. Now that does need to come off.
Yeah. Now that's a case of the game trying to live up to what would be realistic. Now, lots of people are diving in. Let's have a look at what the pit strategy is going to say here. Because
Sabi's actually coming in, so is he seeing something?
Tim stayed out.
And Tim 144 is coming out.
What's he going on to? Another pair of softs?
He's going on for another pair of softs. Unless he's doing unless he's going soft to medium.
Could be staying on the attack, you know. The racing point of Tim 1404 will have lost places in that pit stop for the nose change. So Sabi is now ahead of the person he was chasing, but a lot of people have stayed out here. I totally understand the pit stop there on lap 4 because you only really had 2 more laps on that tyre anyway before it became not undrivable, but where you start to hit the cliff. So interesting tactics going on here, and the other AlphaTauri doing it as well. They're both gone softs. I'm pretty sure I've just seen that.
Let's have a look.
Where's Marty?
At the tyre changes. Martin Beeper is on the softs as well. The owner of AlphaTauri.
And who else? Desi's done the same. Jack has, but he's had the accident as well, so we'll be just trying to catch up with him.
Very interesting. Other Floyd in the Williams there on the hards.
3-lap-old hards. He's been on the hard since the start.
Yes, he has.
You see, that's interesting because right at the end of the race, if you're getting the slowest tyre out of the way now, you can just go on the attack.
You could.
And this safety car definitely would have helped him because he's picked up a few places, but everyone around him's going to be extremely rapid, especially Vasabi. I mean, that's a 2.5 lap advantage right there at the moment. The softs will degrade very quickly, but for this first lap, it's about 1.5 seconds.
Definitely at the moment. We'll see if there's anything else that we're getting from the FIA. We do have some stuff. We have informed drivers to no overtaking in the castle section. This is reducing damage and also DNS. No, that definitely makes sense. There's simply no way you can get 2 cars up there.
And that if you don't want them, someone will try it.
Someone will try it. I believe someone did try it in Tier 2, but I think they paid the ultimate price, unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not worth it. We want to keep as many people in as possible. And, you know, you'd not just ruin it for yourself, then you just ruin it for other people.
I will say this though, man. I am seeing some dark clouds ahead. We could be seeing Tier 2.
This could make a little bit of sense then. I've just seen raindrop.
Is there raindrops? Let's have a look. I'm not seeing anything.
I might have just tripped a little, but
we will stay on board because we do tend to see a little bit more of a.
Yeah.
We are seeing rain, I believe.
We have visible rain.
It is starting to...
Soft tyres make a bit more sense now, don't they?
Right, well...
Oh, but those that like 2 and have stayed out makes even more sense.
So you think they're looking to try and keep going until
to play the conditions,
play the conditions until it actually does start to lash it down.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's still bone dry. Those tyres still can carry on a little bit longer.
But as the track gets damper, the soft tyre becomes much better to have because it gives you the most grip. Hard tyre on a warm day, brilliant, because they're not going to degrade as much. You can take them longer. Same with the medium. But as soon as it gets damp, you're more likely to skid and slide and have terrible traction zones and burn your tyres out.
Now, what does this mean for other Floyd though? Because remember, he's on the hard. So is he? I mean, I don't think this has really played out into his hands a little bit.
No,
they're still on the slower tyre, and it's only going to get much slower, unfortunately. From there.
No, I think maybe when he looked at the weather forecast, the game gives you a rough idea of when it's coming, but maybe he thought it wasn't going to happen this soon. And you know, he's been caught out, but also at the end of this safety car period, if he can keep some places, then everyone needs to pit at the end of the day. And safety car is in this lap.
Safety car is in this lap now. Depending whether or not could we. I mean, I know it's at the moment it's just spitting at the moment. It's just spitting, but
spitting a bit more than it did a lap ago.
It is spitting a little more than a lap ago. Could we be seeing pretty much what can only be described as a tsunami soon?
Well, we could, and I wouldn't be against it. I enjoy wet races more than you believe.
I know you do go on a little bit about the wet races. I do concede on that.
I hated the wet conditions when I first got an F1 game. As Turn's gone very early, and he's caught nearly half a second. That was a bit of a nap going on there from Stocko Saints. He's still going to get the slipstream, but he went just at the end of that little chicane section, which is pretty much the ideal place to go. Everyone getting away well in the pack there from the safety car restart. Him, RB picking up a place, the Sappen picking up a place. Desi picking up. I'm surprised Basavi hasn't got other Floyd there with the tyre advantage. But we again, no major accidents there, so this is incredibly clean for these lot.
Basavi, by the looks of things, will be making a move right now. He's going to get.
He's going to try and hang it around the outside, and he's crashed.
He's crashed into Lightning 66,
and then he's
also crashed into other Floyd.
That was not.
Other Floyd now loses the place to Desi now.
No. Oh, that is an absolute disaster with championship ramification.
Definitely.
Oh dear.
But I think Other Floyd may be in a little bit of serious trouble here.
Yeah, he's struggling out of the traction zones. Tim pretty much pushing him up the hill here. I'm surprised he didn't go for a move there. He thought better of it. He could have.
He could have done, but unfortunately, I think. Oh, we got a set yellow flag.
Oh, we got a car park in Castle Hill.
Car park at Texas Hill, but remember, it's ghosted. Other Floyd now, Marty FIFA.
Oh, he lifted up. Oh, what is happening here? McVilla's got a 5-second penalty for a severe collision. There's all sorts going on, and this is, to quote Murray Walker, quite disgraceful. Because that was truly awful.
That was absolutely incredible. Look at all those penalties all of a sudden.
Literally,
absolutely incredible.
Wow.
Desi's got a penalty. Him 1404. Marty FIFA, McVilla, Verstappen, and Other Floyd. 10 seconds for McVilla and Verstappen. Not a good day for the trucks in the Renault.
Oh look, the safety car's made an appearance again.
It's made an appearance again.
Nice to see you again, old friend. You were gone for how long? And Tim 1404 started on pole by a mile, 8 tenths or something like that. He's had wing damage and he's now got a 5-second penalty. Got involved in a car park. Basabi's coming in. He'll have to change that wing because he knocked the end.
A lot of people are coming in now to the pits for the intermediate tyres. It was predicted in 1 to 3 laps where they were going to come in on the intermediates. That's actually been upgraded to 2 to 5 laps. But by the looks of things, people are taking a gamble and trying to see if they can actually do what they can to try and see if they can get ahead of the game, as it were.
Stephen Osh there picked up a hell of a lot of understeer. I don't think the track's quite ready. It won't be long. This is a punt.
Do you think he's probably looking to...
I think he's thinking by the end...
the undercut, as it were.
He's thinking by the end of the safety car period, it will be ready.
But the thing is, those tyres are going to be wearing a lot.
Yeah,
that's the
they
problem.
burn quickly.
They burn very quickly, especially on the dry surfaces.
Now, But again, I can understand why they're doing it. It is a free pit stop, but that track's just fine at the moment. The intermediates is for where there is a dry line appearing on a wet track, so a damp track you could call it. The full wets is for when there is standing water. I'm not seeing too many damp marks here, and I'm not seeing standing water. But now, I mean, look at the colours on the tyre guide there. We've got loads of reds, yellows, we've got one white, and we've got a load of green.
Yeah, a lot of the green is actually considered to be in the bottom half of the driver's table there. They're taking
a punt, aren't they?
They are, believe, taking a punt, and definitely one is our experienced driver, and your Dutch friend is Sarbi.
Now, he's now leading, other than Stephen Arch, he's, second in the intermediate pack, so theoretically, if a lot of these people in front, now he won't come out first as Turn almost picked a battle with a safety car, and if you've ever seen that on this game, you don't win.
You definitely don't.
The safety car doesn't move.
That safety car doesn't move, and let's face it, when you go into the back of it, it's not the fact that car will get damaged, it won't. No. That is one huge boulder in front of you, let's face it.
You ever seen the Simpsons movie where Homer gets stuck between a rock and a hard place?
Turner's coming in.
That's what that safety car does to you. It sends you flying.
It sends you absolutely flying. Information from the FIA, according to the data from the Tier 2 race, the intermediate tyres are going to wear a lot, especially in 7 laps. And
Toon's come out in the mediums.
Toon's is coming out in the mediums. What is this? Hang on. Is Toon thinking that it will probably dry up quite quickly then?
I think he's
You've seen umbrellas in the background there in the stands.
I think he's just forgotten to select his tyre, and it's gone hound for him. This is terrible. This is... Oh dear.
But you got okay, but at the moment, as it stands,
a couple of people have gone on to. You've got ERT Noah's gone onto a fresh pair of hards, as is PMRB. So are they expecting it to dry up?
Possibly. We're not entirely sure though at the moment. As it stands, Timo is still on 7-lap-old soft, so he needs to come in at some point. It should have taken the opportunity, but he hasn't. Brenboy, Lightning 66, and Desi, not Desi, but Lightning 66, the top 3 at the moment are still on 7-lap-old tyres for pretty much what they started with.
Yeah, so that's weird, and I'm not sure why you wouldn't take a free pit stop, but maybe it's just a difficult choice to make. Now it looks like the rain's not even that hard.
It's not. It seems to be... I don't know. I think it just may be, like I said, it's just drizzling. That's the thing. It's only spitting and spatting.
This is what made me think that we're at such a weird moment that I wouldn't want to be driving at this point because it's so hard to call. If you get this wrong, you're going to tumble down the order. If you get this right, you're going to get launched.
I am starting to see if we because a bit more rain, but Turn actually, when slowed down enough, I actually did see a lot of the rain actually spurting up.
Okay.
Jack 28 in the Red Bull has picked up a 3-second time penalty for cutting a corner.
Okay, yeah, it's not been a particularly nice race.
We've actually got I believe
he spun it as well.
He spun it. And I'm seeing a lot of
there's a bit of water now, isn't there?
A lot of water spurting up from him. So
and it's the hard tyres.
And it's on the hard tyres.
And that's a very stupid mistake.
No, we love Charles.
Oh my god, he's drifting.
He is pretty much a DK right now. So for those who have never watched Fast and Furious, that means Drift King. So this can only imagine what is going in. So
there's been something happened at the front.
There has speeding in the pit lane. By looks of things.
It's Turn.
It is. Is it Turn?
Yeah. They need to get the intermediates on. They need to get. Look how slow everyone is.
Everyone is slow. Jack has retired from the session. I believe he's just being F. He's just like, I can't bother with this anymore.
It's gone wrong.
It's all gone wrong. Load of people.
What is happening here?
I haven't got a clue, but oh my god! And you got so many flags going on now. Annoying yellow flags.
Letting someone through. Oh,
I think Turn unfortunately wobbled a little bit, letting a load of people come past, at which point Dave had to pick up the penalty because they had to wait for him to come past.
Oh wow, this is
This is
and now Wasabi's gone back onto the softs.
Wasabi's gone back onto no, has he?
Yeah, Wasabi.
Yes, he has. He's gone back onto the softs again.
What is happening here?
I'm not entirely sure.
There's an overtake happening, which I hope that was meant to. This is more like the F3 Monza race that we've just had sent through to us. Oh, I love it when
this is absolutely carnage at the moment. Let's have a look at the I'm seeing a lot of 5 second time penalties there. Desi, Prim RB, ERT Noah. You've also got McVeiler, you've got Turn 04, as well as Stappen and Brenboy, all with 5 second time penalties. But the lone wolf at the moment with this penalties is SS2560 in the Williams with a 10 second time penalty.
Oh, naughty boy.
Very naughty boy, but still, we never know what can happen still.
Well, this is thoroughly entertaining for me because I'm looking at all these poor people that have gone onto the slick tyres, really struggle under safety car in all the braking zones. Lightning 66 has retired from the session. I'm not sure what that was about. We'll see if we can find out for you. Maybe there's been an incident at part of the track. I think he's actually come off near Castle Hill. Stephen Osh in the Red Bull has wing damage as well. We're having sent through. We're getting quite a lot of updates at the moment, guys, and that's because at the moment this is a little bit of mayhem. And they're going slowly. I think there's been some collisions up front. We've got Timo Gertz, severe collision with McVeiler, so we've got some more penalties being handed out. The slick tyre runners are coming into the pits. They're going to have to be very slow as they're going to go into that big wall there. And what we're going to do is just quickly get on board now with Stephen Osh, who does have wing damage, and but is leading the race. The race has started as well, which it didn't flash up on the screen, so I apologise for that. I don't think anyone really fully understands what's happening at the moment. All I know is let's have a look. Basabi, can we get on with yeah, look how quickly the slick runners are being overtaken by the intermediate runners. It's no competition now, and there's been some mistakes made. Oh dear.
A lot of going up in the sector, in the sector 1, I believe.
Just going into sector 2 there, and look, yeah, this is a slick runner. This is Desi getting overtaken left, right, and centre. He's made a poor decision, but for the championship, Basabi's made the same decision. He did decide to go on to the intermediates, and he changed his mind.
I'm wondering what is going on here. I'm not entirely sure everyone knows particularly. I will say this though, we were mocking Upper Floyd though. He's gone up to 6th place.
Well played there. He managed to keep it going. He found himself pretty much dead last with the car park at Castle Hill, and now he's shot up and we've got yellows in sector 2.
That's Basabi. It is Basabi. What has happened here?
He's had an incident in Castle Hill.
I believe, let's have a look. Does he have wing damage? No, he doesn't.
He doesn't. I think he just had a spin.
He did have a spin. Another one going into sector 2. I'm wondering what's going on here.
That could be Eugene and Tuan, for example, behind them, who are just everyone just struggling for traction, even on the intermediates. Well, then you're going to really struggle. Oh, this could be interesting.
Tim 144 overtaking Timo. On the pitch straight as we're coming up towards the end of this lap. Tim doing a bit of defending, but he does that quite well. Going to have to defend a little bit now coming to turn 2. A little bit of a swerve there from Tim as he's coming to turn 2. Timo, has he got anything to probably produce? I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
he has. He's got ERS well open there.
Beautiful release from that corner, and we know he's fast around this track as there's more incidents in the back. So Ferrari, he's still not come in.
He still hasn't come in.
Is he just hoping to make it through this period? I don't really understand.
I'm not entirely sure, but he ain't going to get all the grip, and he's going to be losing all the time in the world.
These guys, I think we should just leave 2 and concentrate on the inter runners for now. And Tim,
who's the
closest gap at the moment?
I would have very well spaced out. I say we stay on board with Marty FIFA in for Sabi's teammate for the AlphaTauri, trying to gain a position on Steve Osh. I don't know if Steve Osh has actually got wind damage though.
We saw back there the Ferrari doing a Ricciardo and shooting off into the runoff area. Very easily done in these conditions to miss your braking point. Even if you have a racing line on telling you where to brake, it's purely guesswork.
Apparently the Ferrari or Pim RB apparently did a Daniel Ricciardo probably.
That's exactly the sentence I just said.
Yes, it was. Sorry, my apologies.
No worries.
I'm still
trying to figure out what's happening.
I'm absolutely, I just can't. Anyway, what's going on in Sector 1?
No.
Sector 1, we've got nothing going on in Sector 1.
Random yellow flag, that's a glitch, because no one's in Sector 1 at the moment. And... right, this is strange.
I will say this, hold on. You've got a Eugene M10 who is disqualified.
What?
It says right there. The bottom there, disqualified.
We've got a virtual safety car.
You do have a virtual safety car.
So could that have been what's happened here? Maybe
it's probably triggered it. Probably.
Has it gone like maybe the wrong way on circuit, trying to turn around? That could easily trigger it. Well, that's something we've not seen before, folks. And
you've got ERT Noah now is retired from the session.
So he was on the hards and he's been caught out by the conditions.
Ooh. That's the reason why. I mean, ERT Noah must have clearly
had a little collision.
Yeah, must have had a little collision, unfortunately, with the wall of towards the end of Sector 3 on the S's right there.
So we were mentioning how clean it had been.
No, we've got no one going on. Sorry, Matt.
No, you're right.
We've got Pim RB now that's out of the session now.
Oh, this might be a
It's Stephen Osh. He almost literally cracked it at turn 7. He's not doing quite well in terms of traction, in terms of the stopping power. But my God, I mean, this has just got ridiculous all of a sudden in terms of people.
This, by the way, Tim 1404, who got pole. He's had one eventful race so far where he's found himself with penalties, he's found himself near the back, he's now fighting his way up and he's up to 3rd.
I mean,
shall we get on with Marty
We'll get on with Marty FIFA.
And McBella's retired.
McBella has retired. What is this? I think he's clattered into. Let's go on board with.
It'll be this high speed section. You need to lift off in these conditions.
Let's have a look. Did he?
That's going to be another safety.
It's another safety car. I've never understood this.
This is brilliant. I should laugh. Where is he? I think his car's gone now, but it was just up here.
It was, I believe, right here.
Yeah.
At the end of Sector 2 going into Sector 3.
You launch on the curbs in these conditions and you pay the price.
Well, this is something now. A lot of people are coming in now into the pits. You've got Tim 144, he's staying out. Marty Fiedler, he's coming in.
So Tim back into the lead.
You've also got Timo, you've also got Stephen Osh is coming
Marty
in.
Fiedler's just gone on to mediums.
Marty Fiedler's gone on to mediums.
Are these guys seeing the same conditions we are? There is water.
I just don't know. I don't know anymore.
We've got 3 people on mediums.
We've got 3 people on mediums. I don't understand what is going on here.
They must have forgotten to select the tyre. They must have forgotten to select the tyre.
Unless they're thinking that, I mean, the rain is a little bit less than what it was, but that thing is, it's still wet conditions out there.
Yeah.
They're not going to
look how hard he's having to brake.
Is literally pretty much begging for the car to stop there at the end of turn 3.
Yeah, this is a strange moment. I mean, in some places it looks like it's raining reasonably hard, and well, then at other places it looks fine. And the thing is, it will normally be one condition for the whole track. You see squirming under traction there all the way up to 5th gear, which is insane because your traction really. Yeah, there's the understeer. And
FIFA's really struggling.
XD Verstappen now on the hards. Wasabi's now on the mediums.
It's a shame we can't have. I'm shame we can't have any interviews after this race. Unfortunately, due to difficulties, due to different kind of hosts. But I would have actually loved to have a big, very deep discussion. I'm actually seeing no rain now.
Oh, okay.
I'm actually seeing no rain now. Could this be something?
So this could be something. The thing's though, it doesn't stop raining and miraculously everything dries up.
No, it does not.
I mean, it's still going to be pretty slippy for a few laps, but then we'll get the jump. Even if it is like 2 laps.
Has left the session, but I believe that may be just a glitch in the system. So
he's just having an internet connection problem. still racing.
Possibly. By the looks of things, the safety car's still going to be out for this lap. Yes, I believe so.
I think it is going to, by the end of the safety car period, I think you're looking at pretty much ready. So maybe these guys aren't as silly as they think. Yeah, look, everyone's pitting for dries.
Well, Marty FIFA, you pulled an absolute blinder, I believe, because he's now in the lead. And look at that. Hold on,
benefits everyone.
That benefits even Vasabi.
Verstappen.
No, Vasabi's going to have to do a little bit more catching up though,
unfortunately.
He's still in
away,
6 and 2. So at the moment, Marty FIFA is the one leading this race.
Showing second, and I don't know if Marty FIFA just tapped the safety car.
I mean, look at once again, we're getting colours galore here. It's like a traffic stop this at the moment. It's yellow, reds, yellows, greens, yellows, even a white. Excuse for Verstappen for Renault.
As commentators, we're being thrown one here. This has been extremely difficult to commentate over because I don't quite understand what's happening here. Now, Marty FIFA and other Floyd played absolute blinded hands and found themselves up there. Tim 1404, who had got himself back into the lead, now back down to 5th. So, continuing his mad day so far. XD Verstappen probably looking to go to the end on those hards, which is only 13 laps counting this one, and this isn't even a racing lap. So he could have pulled a brilliant. I think they'll all be looking to go to the end, other than Stocko.
Stocko's on the softs. He's on the softs. I believe he'll have to come in within about the next 7 laps. So unless,
so I think everyone's looking to go to the end.
Everyone's looking to go to the end, apart from Stocko Saints. That's the problem. So what is he going to be planning on doing now? That's the thing.
Attack now, think later.
I mean, it's a good thought, but unfortunately, you need to look at the long run. That's the problem.
The car queue's still not caught up with the safety car and Marty. That's how blinding of a hand Marty FIFA pulled. That's the gap that he gained. That's all. If you look on the mini map, that's 2 or 3 turns.
Everyone is still catching up to the safety car.
That's time found in the race. That's time not been left on the table. That's time been taken away.
Though I will say this though, as they will be catching up now to the safety car, obviously these guys that are behind my FIFA will be actually looking now to keep their tyres nice and warm, because let's face it, Marty FIFA is actually going to be stuck behind the safety car. He's going to be having trouble trying to keep them warm, whereas all the others are not going to be having any problem, because obviously they're going at race pace to catch up to the safety car.
Exactly. This is it's going to kind of benefit those behind. It depends really how good of a job Marty FIFA's done.
Who is this guy? Oh, I thought Tim was
Tim thought about a stop there, didn't he?
I thought he was going for it, but I thought
I
think it's a sensible decision on going staying on the mediums. Otherwise, he would just.
I don't think there was anything to pit for unless he's had a nudge, but then he'd be showing as a penalty. So yeah, I'm not too sure what happened there, but everyone now catching up with the safety car queue. I think we're just waiting on 3 more, but it won't take them too long now. Everyone's in a queue. The safety car should be in at the end of this lap.
They definitely should.
Shall we get on board with the leader who's controlling the pace?
We shall at the moment. Shill. So we shall at the moment with Marty FIFA at the moment currently leading, followed by Floyd in the Williams, followed by Stocko Saints, who is currently 3rd in the championship, is also 3rd in this race at the moment with the softs.
He's someone that's always gone about his business, Stocko. I felt that since last season. He always just keeps himself. What was that I say? Keep your nose clean. Let other people make the mistakes.
And he's pretty much done that.
Yeah, he's always done that. And I don't think he's had the podiums to show for it yet, but that will start to come.
Definitely. I mean, he had that. I believe that one podium of last year, and I do remember I can't remember what race that was.
Was it this one?
No, I believe it was. No, it wasn't this. It wasn't this year. It was last season.
Yeah, but was it?
He had a podium.
But was it Azerbaijan?
I'm not entirely sure it was Azerbaijan.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure, but still, it was a big moment for him, and he was obviously chuffed. Yeah. And at the moment, he's on his way to having another one.
Exactly. He's got to stop now, because I don't think you're getting 11 full race laps out of that. I'm sure we'll be seeing the safety car coming in this lap in a minute.
Yes, we are. Safety lap coming in, but the thing is, you can see XD Verstappen.
Absolute mile away. He's stopped for softs now.
He's stopped for softs. He's on the.
That's like 6 pit stops now, I'm pretty sure. Not that he wouldn't be too far off that point. I'm pretty sure what we got will be detail. We'll go on to detail stops.
He's had four stops.
Vasavi's 5. Other Floyd with the 2, you can tell has played an absolute blinder, like I mentioned. Now, 2 ways to do this restart. We've seen the first way, and now where you launched off at the end of the chicane. Some people choose to drag them all the way up to the racing line, but we go again. And how long's this going to last?
We do not know. Let's have a look.
See who's going to go on the attack. Shall we have a look and see if Stocko can use those tyres to his advantage down this straight?
By the looks of things, a lot of people are trying to see if they can get the clean air out of it. Obviously, they're trying to get out of the dirty air. I'm looking like Floyd trying to.
Stocko might be trying it around the outside here.
He will try it, but does he? No, he doesn't.
Really well defended.
Very well defended by the other Floyd. By the looks of things, everyone seems to be gotten away cleanly. Just for now, though, we never know. This is Baku. This is the thing. It's produced some great races in the past for the WWRL, but also in real life as well. You can't not forget that.
Exactly, and you can see Stocko at the moment has a huge tyre advantage over other Floyd. He's not allowed to overtake into this section, but he'll want to get past as soon as possible, as other Floyd got dangerously close to hitting his rear there on the Castle Hill section, and Marty FIFA has blitzed off into the distance.
He has, with that literally over 2 seconds now. It's ridiculous. Stocko Saints now looking to try and see if he can pull the brake one. No, he's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Remember, he's gagging for that position, so he'll be looking to try and do that in Sector 3 on the chicane, as well as that pit straight. Remember, he'll have the ERS, but not DRS just yet, so it'll be on sheer willpower.
That's it, and
he's right behind him. Look at him.
He needs to get through to make another stop work. I can tell you that now. Other Floyd's going to be defending with his ERS.
No, he won't be.
Okay.
He's not. I believe Floyd is not.
He's very quick. He's definitely turned it on now. But the tyre advantage comes in the corners. But not when you overshoot like that.
Not overshoot that, but Stocko Saints doesn't lose 1 but 2 places, maybe 3 places.
He's going to do well to hang on to this, but he's gonna.
Them two have gone 2 bricks into that corner, very cleanly as well with Tim 144 in the racing point. That was entertaining.
Nice. That
Them two
is
still
nice.
going abreast though, coming up to turn 3. What could be produced here? What could be happen? Oh, Tim 144 is doing really well. I have to hand that to him. That is brilliant.
That was unbelievable racing.
That is seriously, Tim 144. That was absolutely epic.
And I tell you, not one little barge was made there.
Not one. Seriously, it was solid, clean racing.
That was so
good.
Marty FIFA now blitzed off. This could be his first win, by the way.
This could be his first win, and it's a shame that we can't have interviews, unfortunately, because obviously technical difficulties. But still, if he carries on, I mean, this is absolutely epic for him.
And you'll know that Tim 1404's been fast since qualifying. He'll want to get a big gap now, because Tim 1404's battling. He's on the back of other Floyd, you know.
He is.
Whoa, this is
very fast, but
he's pulled one risky move, but I don't think he'll make it happen here.
No, definitely not with this one.
That's such an aggressive line.
Aggressive move.
He picked up the snap of oversteer there as well on the exit, which could easily send you into the wall.
The thing is, you've also got Stocko Saints behind these two.
Still got the tyre advantage.
It's definitely so.
Good release.
Floyd, these two are definitely. He's gotten into the slipstream very well. Other Floyd literally is pretty much a victim to this at the moment, with Tim 144 using all his ERS. Stocko Saints, is he going to be trying to get into it? No, he's falling a little bit behind, but unfortunately he's got Brent Boy in the Haas coming up behind him, going on to the outside. Stocko Saints closes him off, closes the door very well.
That's Tim 1404 is pulling out the moves, and I'm loving every second of it.
I believe we might try and be able to see if we can actually get these guys into an interview, but I'm not entirely sure if that can happen.
4.2 seconds, but I don't think it'll be long before Tim has the clean air in front of him, and I think it's quickly turning into a 2-horse race.
Definitely, at the moment, you've got Stephen Osh, but unfortunately, he's still got 4 seconds to make the gap on My FIFA, who is absolutely ploughing down the track.
He is, and he needs to keep. That's going to be a corner cut in the morning, but it needs to be getting on.
Other Floyd is absolutely funny. He's just lost 4 places in that sector 2. I think he's got a bit of damage as you got the 2 McLarens now going. Was it literally? Look at them. They're pretty much queuing up.
Yeah, exactly. They're queuing up. I think Other Floyd maybe has a little bit of damage. I am not too sure, but it's weird to lose so many places just that quickly.
It is indeed. Unfortunately, Stocko Saints is from 4-lap old soft, so they'll be looking to come to a point where they will pretty much. Well, the tyres are dead, as Lewis Hamilton would usually say, but he's also still got the mediums. An absolute train full of them behind him, so he'll be more likely plummeting laps.
Tim's dropped back a little, you know.
Tim has dropped back a little.
And that gap's increasing.
You've got Brenboy going up behind Stocko Saints. It's got a lot of DRS.
Yeah.
ERS is also being deployed at the same time. Stocko Saints is coming in though.
I think those softs just haven't worked out for him. He needed to make the moves quick there. And Stephen Osh is dropping Tim 1404. I wonder has he got damage. Can we get
Marty Field's just come down a second.
He's come down as well.
He's locking up as well.
So something's maybe Stephen Osh just saved some pace that we haven't seen before. He's picked up understeer there, but it's still a nice exit. Is this now? Have I written Stephen Osh off too soon here?
Possibly, but you never know. I mean, it's the fact that Marty FIFA was 4.1 seconds in front. Now it's gone to 2.9 in literally less than a lap. Unless Marty FIFA has probably picked up a tiny bit of maybe a hit something. I'm not entirely sure, but it's still coming down. 2.7 now. Yeah,
this gap is plummeting, and he dropped Tim, who'd been rapid, but Tim's had a really good run through the Castle Hill section, nearly back within DRS. So this is going to be a very close ending, guys.
Very, very close.
Oh no!
Oh, Steve Osh, I believe he's just about saved it. I think
that's now going to leave him vulnerable to Tim 1404, who's been making the move since the safety car restart. He's now sniffing his gearbox.
He is pretty much asking to have second place now. ERS is going to be also deployed as well as the DRS. Let's have a look. He eases past very easily right there.
The problem is Stephen got bad release from that last corner, and you carried that bad release the whole way up this straight. And he picked up understeer as well, as Tim sets the fastest lap as well. So 1:41.6 in race trim. That's very good considering the track conditions that we've had.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's understeer. Oh, they are pulling their cars right to the line now.
This is going to be very, very interesting.
Oh, I'm loving this. Honestly, we very rarely have a boring race in this division, and it's great fun because I think they're all just so talented and they're all at similar levels.
This is turned into such a race right now. I thought last year's race in Baku was something unheard of, but this is just as worse. This is absolutely incredible.
A lap ago, it looked like Stephen Osh was gonna blitz that gap down. Then he had an understeer moment, nearly went into the wall around the end of sector 2. He's now been overtaken. All of a sudden, it looks like Tim 1404 is now going to be hunting Marty FIFA.
He is, and once again, that time has come down almost a second again on Marty FIFA. He's pretty much in view.
This line,
Tim 1404.
This line is set well with me.
It doesn't. It gives you. It's nauseating to look at. I mean, the fact that he can simply just go off and pretty much have his whole car pretty much painted onto the wall.
He's getting air, and also, as Brenboy picks up a 3-second penalty here. If you next time he goes round that, make sure we're on board. Look at the oversteer he gets. How's he not plummeting into a wall?
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's the fact that the car pretty much goes sideways, and he's having to pretty much snap it back to go towards the wall, and then to bring it back in. And the level of control is absolutely unheard of.
Cat-like reflexes.
Brenboy is overtaken by Desi. He's actually lost by
Other Floyd making moves back up now. Tun's now going to be looking to make a move here on Brenboy. He's been extremely slow through these last few corners, and this should be a cut and dry move. He's going to make him go the long way.
He made it easily done.
That's nice.
Lovely done by Tun on Brenboy. His teammate as well, Timo, has overtaken over Floyd on turn 3, going on the outside.
What's happened there?
Them two have come together, and so there was a bit of debris going on.
There was a bit of debris.
What's happened there?
He seemed to go through. I think that's Desi. That looked like I think that's Desi. He just rode on board with Tim, and it looked like he was getting a power slide on.
I really
We didn't get any yellow flags.
No, we did not. Once again, that time is still coming down. Well, Tim 1404 with the racing point is now in pretty much touching distance of Marty FIFA. Look at that!
Oh, Marty FIFA's had a huge tank slapper.
Massive tank slapper now is in DRS's range and is now vulnerable to Tim 1404 in the racing point. What race this is turning out to be? But has Marty FIFA got ERS? He does, but it's not a lot. Whether Tim 1404 has DRS as well as ERS. What could we be seeing right now? Could we be seeing not this turn not this bit right here where we can be seeing a DRS? He's going to have to stick with him for the next turn 1 and turn 2. Towards turn 3 in the DRS zone,
he's
try and get it. He's so late on the braking. It's absolutely incredible.
Just took another 10th off in the braking zone.
But it's apparently, I don't know whether this is true, but its striking distance is 2 laps. I think the striking distance is now. Let's face it. It's going to happen now.
I tell you, Marty's going to make him work for it, and I don't think he'll go for the lunge there. He'd be stupid to. But Marty did lock up.
It is a correction from the FIA. Apparently, it's 1 lap now.
Marty's now feeling the pressure. He's locking up into every corner. Stephen Osh being dragged in the slipstream of Tim all the way up into this battle as well. I'm not going to write him off anymore because he's keeping up.
Timo's competed in for a new set of softs, so he will be looking to try and see if he can overtake someone and playing fastest lap. But don't know whether or not that will happen. But they will stay on board with this and a moment the battle for first and second place. A lot of track extension there, but doesn't get anything, so he'll be on the warning there. ERS is slightly open just to get the better off on the traction in terms of getting power on.
Yellow
in sector 2, that is
Castle Hill, and that's a Haas.
That is the Haas of Brenboy.
Is that gonna bring anything out? Could that
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. We're going to stay on board with Marty FIFA and Tim 144. As the Tim 144 is looking to get very close, using that slipstream. Now going to be coming around that corner using the DRS zone now. And he'll be looking to do the overtake using the ERS as hopefully as possible as well.
Marty's going to make him work for it, but I think it will be done by the braking zone.
It probably will be. It's done. Tim 144 gets it.
Just about got it.
But you still got this turn 2 as well as the DRS zone. So could Marty FIFA get something out of this?
He got a bad release.
He's got DRS, so he's got a bad release. So I don't think he's going to get it done.
It's a tricky overtake into turn 3, and you need to nail the traction zone. Tim's now in the prime position here. He's fought for it. He's had such an eventful day. He's found himself last. He's found himself on pretty much every compound available, other than the wets. He started on pole. He's struggling around this section. What is going on?
I'm not entirely sure, but Brenboy is pitted. He's going on to the softs. He's in 10th at the moment. He's got the. I believe he's got the. No, he hasn't. Not anymore. Timo has probably got the chance now to get the fastest lap and get some points in as well. Still on board with this battle for first place.
Now, this is something that we hope to see. What a release Tim got from Castle Hill! He just shot off. Coming back down again now, but that was an initial release. Look at that. It's so aggressive.
So aggressive from that. It's absolutely incredible.
The thing is, though, get that wrong once, and you'll be racking up the warnings. So, I mean,
I wouldn't say he's racking up the warnings. You'll probably end up
in a wall,
in the wall, like Romain Grosjean did in the Ski Grand Prix.
Exactly. You're gonna get launched, and now I think Marty FIFA is out of ERS, and he's struggling to keep up. I think now Stephen Osh would be worth riding on board with to see if he can pick up one more place. 2 and 8 seconds behind. This is the battle that we're going to stick with, folks.
Yes, it is battle for first and second and third, but I believe it's gone down to second and third now.
Yeah.
What this battle is going for now.
Tim's had amazing pace, and he's really had to fight for it now, which is brilliant. He's not exactly had it all his own way. He had contact in turn one with Wasabi and lost an end plate at his front wing. Now look, Mighty FIFA really struggling without the ERS. It's not like Stephen Osher's got a lot, but I think Mighty FIFA, it just seems to be locking up into a lot of corners, getting bad releases. It could be something to do with his setup, not really firing up these tyres.
Timo Gertz in the McLaren, currently in 10th at the moment, with an extra point by the looks of things with his fastest lap at the moment.
So pretty much a 141?
A 141, I think it's 0.5.
Oh, okay, very nice.
Let's find out what is the fastest time at the moment. I believe can't see fastest lap. Yeah, 141.
Flat.
Oh, Stephen Orsham almost had that.
He almost took Marty for a jolly spin there, didn't he?
Definitely so.
This is, you can see Stephen Osh, he's got a lot more pace at this point of the race with 2 laps left, and I don't think first place is gettable, but this will be the highest position he's ever had. Mighty FIFA has been struggling for a few laps now. I don't think he'll make the overtake here, no. It'll take a biblical dive.
I think he's just using the slipstream. He's not using any ERS. I think he's trying to save that for the actual overtake itself. Very sensible. Turn 1, a bit closer. Going into sector 1 as the start, turn 2 now. Is he going to be using it? He's going to use DRS, but I don't think he's got enough on him to settle himself. I think he's going to be setting himself up for the last lap.
We could have some last lap shenanigans going on here, and Tim 14.04 now. It was a 2-second gap. Oh, Marty's locking up into a lot of corners here. I think the track conditions are quite difficult. Coming off of that rain, it could be a relatively cool surface, so not providing a lot of grip to the medium tyres.
Definitely not, as we, I believe, over another one there. The closest at the moment is between the 2 Williams here, with the other Floyd and SS256 Sticky.
I mentioned earlier, it never even seems to work out in games, Williams. Well, if this was real life, and this was Russell and Latifi, I'm pretty sure they'd want to stop the race now and take those points.
Oh, I definitely would. Definitely, especially when George Russell is our local hero.
Yeah, exactly.
He's from the Fens, so we've got to love him.
The coolest man in F1.
Very coolest man.
You've got to defend where you're from at the end of the day. Now, I don't know if Stephen Osh is going to be able to get him. I think Marty FIFA, he must have pumped in a really good lap while we were away, so it looks like this will be the podium, barring a mistake or a time penalty for Tim. He's got some inventive lines, you never know.
You definitely not know it indeed. Stephen Osh picked up at least 2 tenths there on the pitch straight, now coming into turn 2. This pretty much is to set him up for the final corners of this race. Now he's half a second behind Marty FIFA. He's looking to gain more, trying to get that the clean air as much as he possibly can. Another knocker there by Marty FIFA.
Other Floyd's just lost the place to his Williams teammate. They're fighting as well, but I think SS2560 has come out on top.
It has indeed, yes it has. Marty FIFA was locking up.
He's really struggling with under braking, especially around this section. And I know it's difficult, but a lot of them you just go in a straight line. He must have a really compromised setup here. Maybe he did set up for the rain. We don't know what everyone's done at the end of the day, but he's really struggling out of these this sector 2. But then he seems to be completely rapid in these parts, so I think he's gone all the way down to low downforce with this to get real good top end speed, and he's compromised his braking.
It is indeed. By the looks of things, we will try and stay on him as much as we possibly can, but obviously we're going to go to yellow flag.
We've got another car park in Castle
It's
Hill.
Wasabi, I believe. He's gone down into 1. Anyway, we're going to stay on board at the moment with Tim 1404, as I believe Steve O'Shea is going to go for move on Marty FIFA. It's going to the wire. So we're going to Tim 1404 wins the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, but obviously Stephen Osh comes in second.
He's absolutely buzzing with that.
That's absolutely fantastic. What an absolute drive there.
That was art imitating life there. That was exactly what happened in 2017 with Bottas and Stroll.
That was absolutely incredible. XD Verstappen with a yellow flag there in the beginning of sector 2. Number 1. Oh, the Floyd has now crashed out of the race.
What is going on? It's the last lap. You just got to bring it home, guys.
That's what you needed to do. Verstappen's come up to 7th. That's decent for him.
Stocko picking up some more good points there. Really tidy race. Unfortunately, I don't think he had the strategy today over Floyd after an up and down race where he's found himself in so many positions.
Wait, hang on. Please tell me he crossed the line.
I think he just.
did just cross the line, Timo.
I think he did it on purpose.
Right, okay,
but that was
that was quite hilarious. Anyway, unfortunately, bringing up the rear, going through Castle section right now is XD Verstappen.
Quite slowly as well.
I
think
believe he
had a little bit of damage.
I believe so. Was going
Wow.
forward with him. He's actually been overtaken by the
race winner.
By the race winner.
Wow.
He's actually crashed into him as well.
The AI have pulled some great moments out today as well.
Yeah, and by the looks of things, he's missing an end plate on the right hand side there.
Yeah, this is honestly, that was absolutely
incredible, and he's spun. That's a nice little pirouette.
That was very nice. He's pulling on some donuts for fans. I thought we were only going to do that on the last race of the season,
especially
guys.
when you've won as well, not last, but especially when you haven't been lapped also.
Oh dear.
Oh dear me. Oh dear me. What is going on here?
You can do it.
You can do it.
Oh shit! This could so easily have been any other driver.
Let's face it. At the end of the day, he does pick up. Oh, hang on. No.
Go on, my son.
Actually, I know he's got 3 seconds time period for crashing into people. That's actually what he won.
Who have finished the race. Go on!
Go on, we believe.
What? Oh yeah, rear tyres, rear left 117 degrees.
I believe that's a puncher. Look at it, it's vibrating like hell.
Yeah,
that's a puncher.
Yeah, he's got a flatty. But you know what a race! I'm glad he didn't just leave. No, he saw it to the end.
I think he saw that as 11th place. But at the end of the day,
that was a true. Hey,
well, we're finally there. That's absolutely incredible.
That was a true race of attrition.
That was just something unheard of.
Stephen Osh, driver of the day. I would go for the man who won it. I know he started on pole, but he didn't have it his own way. He absolutely fought for that, and it was close as well. It was so close. Stephen Osh grabbing someone on the line as well.
Absolutely. I can't even come to contemplate what just happened there.
We've got 3 Dutch drivers on the podium. That's an all-Dutch podium. So one half of my family is buzzing with that.
Bet.
That was great fun. I'm going to leave Ben to do the interviews as we are doing it in a slightly compromised way. So what I'll do is I'll just sign off by saying thanks very much for having me. That was fun. Great track, great racing, great drivers. I'm going to watch this again tonight. It was that much fun. Thank you so much for having me, guys.
No, Matt, once again, thank you very much, mate. I'm going down to the winner's circle to see what I can get from the winners.
Goodbye.
See if we can actually get anyone onto the how can I put it? The podium at the moment. Women can't unfortunately come at the moment. We'll see if we can try and get on with Marty FIFA. Hopefully we'll be able to get something out of him. Hopefully. So we're trying to see if we can get some interviews going at the moment. Just have to bear with us. Marty FIFA can't come either. So this is going to be this is going to be interesting. I don't think we'll be able to do any interviews. We were going to try to, because obviously it's going to be difficult. But I think everyone can't after that race. I mean, I wouldn't surprise me. I think it was exhausting. So I believe we just want to get the confirmation from the from everyone. We want to see if we can actually be able to get someone to try and see if we can actually get the get an interview, but I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to wait. Just have to stand by with us. So far, what an absolute race that was. I'm actually
I want more races like that. That was absolutely epic. The fact that we couldn't predict what was going to happen. So we will try and do our absolute best to try and see if we can get an interview. If not, then we will be leaving it there. Just have to bear with us. I don't think we are going to get an interview in. Unfortunately, it's sad, but not that. Still, absolutely anyone. But I think that's all we're going to have time for. Unfortunately, guys. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have any interviews, but hopefully we will next week when we are, I believe, at Silverstone, a quality race. That's going to be awesome here in the United Kingdom. What a race that was here in the streets of Baku. Absolutely fantastic. We had rain, we had different colour tyres, we had different strategies, and we had different motives. But surely